This video supplements the written protocols of SOPLAY and SOPARC, two observation instruments for assessing physical activity and its context in open environments. Open environments are settings in which the numbers of people and their activity levels change frequently, such as during school recess and at parks. SOPLAY, the system for observing play and leisure activity in youth, was designed to obtain information on the number of students and their activity levels during play and leisure in specific areas, primarily at schools. SOPARC, the system for observing play and recreation in communities, was designed to obtain information on people and their activity levels during play and leisure in communities, such as in park settings. Both systems use momentary time sampling. Observation scans of predetermined target spaces are made to systematically code information on individuals and on factors that may influence their activity there. This video has 3 segments. The first segment introduces the observation systems and provides information on the key concepts used in them. Segment 2 shows sample clips of people engaged in physical activity in various settings and provides observers an opportunity to practice recording. To be accurate, observers should use a digital or a mechanical counter so they can automatically enter information without looking down at an entry form. Answers are provided immediately following each video clip. Segment 3 is designed for observers to assess their ability to code quickly and accurately. Again, observers should use a counter. Answers on Segment 3 are not on the video, but may be available from your project supervisor. Viewers should read the instrument protocols and become familiar with the data recording forms before continuing. The instruments are designed primarily to obtain information on physical activity and other characteristics of people who are in a specified space called a target area. Prior to making observations, the boundaries of the target area are predetermined and maps are made to illustrate the area. At a specified time, each person in the area is observed and his or her activity level is recorded. People are counted as in the area when they are inside, on, or above the boundary lines. This is similar to the rule for a ball being in during soccer games. In this example, the 2 people behind the fence would not be counted as in the designated area, which is the softball field. A scan is a single observation sweep moving from left to right across the target area. Making a scan is similar to viewing an area through a scope or through the sights of a rifle as it moves across the space. This scene shows a scan from left to right at a pace of just less than 1 person per second. During a scan, the physical activity level of each individual is coded as either sedentary, walking, or vigorous. Separate and independent scans are usually made for males and females. Other categories of interest, such as different age groupings, could also have their separate scans. A school campus or park is likely to have many target areas of interest, perhaps between 5 and 20. These areas should be measured and assessed for relevant built characteristics before observational data are collected. A map of the school grounds or park should be marked to show the boundaries of each target area, as well as the spots or locations where assessors go to observe. Each target area should also be numbered to indicate the rotational sequence in which it will be visited during an observational period. The sequence should be a logical one that facilitates data collectors to move easily around the school or the park. Identifying a space as a separate target area depends upon a number of factors. These include the area size, its natural boundaries, how many people use the space, how active they are, and how many person characteristics you want to code. For example, if the age and gender of area users are of interest, observers must be close enough to participants to actually record these features. The number of people in a space and their activity levels change frequently. Thus, it is sometimes necessary to subdivide a target area into smaller, more easy-to-scan spaces. This is done when the area has too many people or when the area users are so active that reliable coding is not possible. These smaller areas are referred to as a scan space. Data collected in these smaller spaces can be later summed to report for the entire target area. Plan on how each target area might be subdivided ahead of time. For example, a tennis complex could be divided into separate courts, or if needed, into half courts. Some areas need to be subdivided differently on different visits. For example, a multi-purpose field might be used as 2 soccer fields during autumn and as 3 softball fields during spring. Thus, to collect accurate data, an assessor might need to subdivide an area into scan spaces on the spot. Where should a target area be observed from? The location selected should enable observers to have a clear view of all area users. When possible, the spot should be outside the perimeter of the area. But if the target area is an enclosed room, this is not always possible. The location should also not require observers to look directly into the sun. Occasionally, new construction or the placement of large equipment within an area require that the observation spot be moved. This scene shows a large area that is much too complex and too crowded to permit the collection of accurate data in a single scan. In cases like this, divide the space into sub-areas and make additional scans. Use natural boundaries whenever possible. This scene is challenging because the perimeter of the target area is unclear. As a result, people in the background are outside the target area and they may be counted inadvertently. Assessing reliability refers to determining the agreement between independent observers. During reliability checks, the head observer and the reliability observer should stand adjacent to each other so they can view an area from a similar angle. They should initiate the scan at the same time, record at the same rate, and end the observation together. To facilitate making simultaneous observations, the head observer can use a verbal prompt, such as "begin scanning now," in order to initiate the scan. The contextual characteristics of a target area are entered on the data form just before the scan of people is initiated. Contextual characteristics include the accessibility of the area, as well as the presence of supervision, organized activity, and loose equipment. Accessibility means the area is currently available for use by the subjects of interest, such as students. Locked areas, those rented to others, and those having "don't use" signs posted are coded as not being accessible. Even when an area is not accessible, you should still code for the other characteristics. Usable refers to the area being in suitable condition for people to engage in the physical activity for which the area was designed. Excessively wet or windy conditions would make the space not usable. Code the space as usable, even though it would not be accessible, such as when it is locked. Code an area as supervised when a person who is officially designated to be responsible for it is in or adjacent to the area. Included are lifeguards, playground supervisors, park rangers, teachers, and coaches who have been designated by school or park authorities. Sometimes they may wear a uniform. Supervisors need to be available to direct the behavior of area users and to respond to emergencies, but they do not have to be instructing, officiating, or organizing activities. When only parents are present to monitor their children, code the area as not supervised. Code the area as organized when it is providing scheduled physical activities during which leadership is provided. Scheduled practices, games, and activity classes such as dancing, fitness, and yoga are examples of organized activities. Areas hosting only free play or pickup games that do not have referees or official scoring are coded as not organized. Code equipped when the school, agency, or park is currently providing area users with loose equipment, such as balls and bats. Code not equipped when the only equipment that is available is of a permanent nature, such as soccer goals or climbing apparatus, and when the loose equipment in the area belongs to individuals. Observers need mechanical or digital counters in order to enter codes without looking away from the target areas. This counter has keys that are colored red, yellow, and green, specifically to match the 3 activity levels: sedentary, walking, and vigorous, or whoa, slow, and go. Observers need to practice and become proficient with their instruments before collecting data. For example, when using this counter to record with your right hand, place your index finger on the red key, middle finger on the yellow key, and ring finger on the green key. With practice, observers automatically depress the red key when they scan past a sedentary person, the yellow key when they see a person walking, and the green key when the person is in vigorous physical activity. During a left to right scan, focus momentarily on each individual and code his or her activity levels. Code sedentary anytime the person is lying down, sitting, or standing, as long as he or she is not expending energy at a greater rate than an ordinary walk. Individuals in these following clips would be coded as sedentary. Walking is the second activity category. During walking, there is locomotion or transfer of weight from one foot to another. This definition includes pivoting, such as in basketball, and walking at a pace up to a moderate or ordinary level. Walking fast is coded as vigorous, however. Each person in these segments would be coded as walking. The third physical activity level is vigorous. Code individuals as vigorous when they are expending energy at a higher rate than they would during an ordinary walk. This ends the first segment of this video. Obtain a mechanical digital counter before viewing segments 2 and segments 3. Segment 2 provides an opportunity for you to practice recording while receiving immediate feedback. Segment 3 provides scans of people in various activity settings. Observers can assess these scans and later receive feedback from a certified trainer.